Achieving full body orgasms. Page 21. A full body orgasm might seem quite interesting and dubious at the same time. Well, Tantric Sex will help you achieve this. The pleasure that you can experience while engaging in Tantric Sex is higher than regular sex. The reason for this is that when practiced properly, it can indeed help in achieving a full body orgasm, and this is quite natural. This happens when you start focusing on spreading the dormant sexual energy that is present in your body to all the cells in the body instead of simply restricting it to your genitals. This will intensify the pleasure you are experiencing and make your body come alive. It can be challenging. Tantric sex is not always easy to perform. Regardless of whether or not you have known your partner all your life, it can still be quite challenging. You will need a little more focus and practice in order to get the hang of Tantric sex. Tantric sex is a pristine form of lovemaking. And in order to enjoy all these benefits, it is important that the people who are engaging in it are able to let go of all their inhibitions fully. There isn't a quick or an easy way in which we'll be able to get the hang of it. You need to let go of all the previous notions of lovemaking that you might have had and redefine this entire process. You can start out by sitting on the bed or any comfortable surface and gaze into each other's eyes. It is about forming a bond with your partner and maintaining a connection with your partner throughout the duration of sexual intercourse. There are Tantric sex courses available as well. Before you get any wrong ideas, these courses aren't group orgies, nor do they include any graphic demonstrations. These are classes that will teach a couple to connect to each other on a deeper level and help in forming a bond that transcends the physical world. Various topics are covered in these courses, and this can be practiced with your partner within the sanctity and privacy of your own home. There are online courses available as well. Once you have got the hang of the basics, you can engage it in some mind-blowing sex. Page 23, Chapter 2, Benefits of Tantric Sex. As already mentioned, in the previous chapter, Tantric sex will help in bringing two people closer together and help in their spiritual, emotional, and mental union. In this chapter, you will learn about the various benefits that Tantric sex has on offer. Individual growth. Tantric sex helps in increasing the intimacy quotient in a relationship. It also helps in the growth of individuals as well. A person will be able to grow mentally, physically, as well as spiritually. Tantric sex helps in awakening Kundalini in women. and this allows for her feminine nature to shine through. She will start to glow and have a more positive outlook and attitude towards life. The male energy, Shiva, helps a man to harness all his masculine energy through peace and inner strength. Exploring the limits. Quickies and self-pleasuring techniques are becoming quite common these days, and people are more often than not missing out on the benefits that meaningful and loving sex can provide. This hinders an individual from exploring their sexual limits. Tantric sex can help turn this around. Tantric sex would help an individual in understanding their true sexuality and their sexual limits. When a couple engages in tantric sex, they form a deep and meaningful bond that allows each partner to experience sexual bliss. Tantric sex can be true of like a team effort, where each partner helps the other reach and in great physical, emotional, and sexual pleasure, and can be experienced by both. Heightened orgasms. The orgasms achieved through tantric sex are more powerful than the ordinary ones. The various tantric sex positions mentioned in this book will help you in achieving earth-shattering orgasms. The positions are designed such that they hit all the sweet spots and make your body sing. It is a general notion that women can have a high level of orgasm when compared to men, but with tantric sex, both men and women can achieve a higher state of orgasm. Knowing what works. Page 24. Once you have managed to get the hang of it, tantric sex can be enjoyable and exciting. With each successive sessions, you will get a better understanding of your sexuality, your triggers, and also those of your partner. You will be able to understand what you and your partner enjoy. Once you have managed to identify these pleasure points, you can start stimulating them for achieving pure sexual bliss. The physical and mental bond that you would have established with your partner would simply depend on him and strength over a period, and you will reach a stage where you, as a couple, become dependent on each other's sexual energy for their pleasure. Timed bliss. You can time your orgasms with tantric sex. Once an individual has managed to gain control over their mind as well as body, they can automatically fall into synchronized pattern for attaining a mutual orgasm. A new form of energy is generated, and it flows through each of them when they have timed orgasms. This does amplify the bond between couples. Teaching of tantric sex suggests that staying connected after a sexual act will help in strengthening the bond that's formed. Monogamy. It is a popular belief that tantric sex can help a couple in staying together for the rest of their lifespan. When two individuals have managed to forge a bond that helps them to connect on a deeper plane, they become dependent. This dependence cannot be mimicked or replicated with anyone else. When the frequency of the sessions starts to increase, then the bond between the individuals also starts to deepen and strengthen. Health benefits. Tantric sex does help in promoting good health. Women will benefit from this because it will help in making their menstrual cycle more regular, and this, in turn, helps them in keeping their bodies in good shape. Tantric sex helps in producing certain male hormones that produce healthier and stronger sperms, thereby increasing the couple's fertility. A full body orgasm helps in fueling the body cells and also helps increasing their strength to combat disease, therapy, increasing the immunity. Women and men who have tantric sex tend to look younger because this is a great stress buster. It also adds a new glow to the face. Apart from all the various benefits that it has to offer everyone, tantric sex can also help in producing serotonin that assists in keeping depression at bay, and orgasms help in releasing serotonin that helps in keeping cortisol at bay and improves an individual mood. Page 25. Inhibitions. It also helps in make a person get accustomed to their body and be more comfortable with their body and that of their partner. Most people in this day and age tend to get extremely conscious about their bodies, and these fears that they harbor stop them from truly enjoying sex, and they end up having mediocre sex. Once you let go of the fear of being judged and have accepted your body for the way it is, then you will be able to truly let go and savor the moment as it was meant to be enjoyed. If you let go of all these fears, you can enjoy physical pleasure. Letting go of your inhibitions will make sex more enjoyable. Tantric sex encourages this abandonment. It's a good abandonment. Power struggle. If you follow the popular television series like the Game of Thrones, then you will remember the episode where Daenerys Targaryen breaks all the norms and decides to take charge of pleasuring her alpha male husband, Khal Drogo. Drogo objects at first, but then he gives in once he realizes how pleasurable it really is. When it comes to sex, more often than not, people tend to face an inner power struggle. Men and women both tend to like the feeling of being in control. Through showing that they are in control can do serious damage to relationship. There is a difference between being in control and enjoying mutual tantric sex. Tantric sex will help in eliminating this problem altogether. Tantric sex gives equal power to both the partners, and the different positions will help in allowing both the parties to be in charge, and they can give each pleasure the other person without any restrictions. Happiness. Tantric sex helps in channeling all the positive forms of energy, and this will help in making the individual extremely happy. Since it's spiritual, emotional, and physically satisfying, an individual will be happy in all these aspects. The spiritual connection that it let you form with divinity helps. Increased love. There are thousands of thoughts that go through your mind at any given point of time. We tend to think about different people, not necessarily our partners. It's quite common these days for couples to break off their relationships on the pretexts that they aren't feeling the love anymore. Tantric sex will not only help you in loving yourself, but it will also help you in love your partner. It helps in developing a nurturing relationship that helps in mutual growth. This kind of strength of feelings make the relationship more solid. Until here, page 25, you will start now 26, empowers both men and women. Empowers both men and women. Most women tend to suffer from low self-esteem. They have become plagued with thoughts and feelings that their bodies are imperfect. They may not have the power to say no to their partner while engaged in a sexual act. They may not be truly willing to have sex, but are forced into it because of their inability to say no. They might not express their true feelings and desires freely, and this reduces the pleasure that they experience. According to the teachings of Tantric sex, women are treated like goddesses, and they are showered with the attention and the respect that they deserve. Likewise, even men are plagued with different issues regarding the way they perceive themselves. Most men worry about the way they are performing, whether or not they can satisfy their partner, if their stamina is good enough, and so on and so forth. Instead of enjoying the act, they are often worried about how long they can last. When they follow the teachings of Tantric sex, they will feel empowered, since their bodies are honored as the vessels of God. This will make them more confident and open to new experiences without having to live with those fears and inhibitions. Immense satisfaction. There are times when you might have had sex and felt that something was missing in it. You might feel that there's no excitement or romance. This tends to happen since sex doesn't go beyond intercourse. It stops at the physical act. Sex alone does not do anything for relationship. Tantric sex is more pleasurable since it helps in forming an emotional bond between partners instead of a simple physical bond. When a person is emotionally invested in an act, it becomes more pleasurable and enjoyable. When both are, it becomes magical. Alleviates depression. Think of tantric sex as your counselor. It will help you in overcoming depression and even anxiety. People are usually too tired to eat or sleep these days. This wreaks havoc on their daily schedule. Tantric sex will help you in tackling the problems mentioned above. After a session of tantric sex, we will feel revitalized and re-energized. And this newfound peace and energy will relax your body and calm your mind, thereby getting rid of all the unnecessary tensions that keep stressing you. Tantric sex is so much more than just a sex. Chapter 3: The Basics of Tantric Sex. When you start to follow the teachings of Tantric Sex, then we will start to notice a positive change in yourself. You will notice a change in the way you view yourself and also see a positive shift in your outlook towards life in general. You will find yourself looking at long-term relationships instead of instant gratification. You will learn that every individual has a certain level of divinity that is present within him or her, and that this is a given. This change in your perspective will make you view sex as a sacred act and not just a physical one. You will also learn to find and forge a deeper connection with your partner and attain a greater level of pleasure. You will be successful only when you have relieved yourself of any preconceived notions that you might have. You should stop thinking about what you should do to please your lover or what your lover has got to do to pleasure you. After reading this chapter, you will be able to identify certain different ideas that you might have about yourself and also learn how to let go to have great sex. This chapter will help you in understanding the basic concepts of tantric sex. Page 29. The yin and the yang. You must have heard the phrase that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. It is perceived that men are more assertive and powerful, while women tend to be more softy, fragile, and nurturing in nature. Several other stereotypes exist. Men are not capable of expressing their feelings, while women tend to have a plethora of emotions that are simply waiting to be unleashed at any second. Another general misconception is that women don't normally like to take credit for the work they do, because this is a trait associated with men since they are more outgoing. Over the last few years, there's been a drastic change in the way both men and women think. The principles of Tantric Sex firmly believe that men and women are different and that they are opposing characteristics. This is a very basic principle of Tantra and is embodied in the Eastern principle Yin and Yang. Yin represents feminism and Yang represents masculinity. However, this doesn't mean that women are capable of possessing and Yang characteristics and likewise. Rather than thinking of men and woman as two entities, focusing on their energy, it's a good idea. Tantra firmly believes in the merging of the energies of these two entities. And remember, the yin and yang are inside each person, man and woman. Page 30. Shiva and Shakti. One of the most common images of yin and yang can be found in Hindu mythical literature. Yin and yang are represented by the divine couple of Lord Shiva and goddess Shakti.